Hey kids, welcome to section 5.4 unit pricing. Today we're going to determine the unit price and use it in comparison shopping. So I want you to think about how when you go to the grocery store, many items come in different sizes. And what do you consider when deciding which size to buy? Do you buy the one that's always on sale? Do you always buy the biggest one? Do you buy the smallest one? Do you buy the one that's at eye level? Which one do you buy? Do you buy generic? Do you buy brand? Which one do you buy? That's what we're talking about today. So grocery stores often give the unit price for their products. And a unit price is a technique that allows shoppers to compare the prices of various items. So take a look. Here are the little stickers. You might recognize these. They're on the shelves of grocery stores. I think the one on the top is maybe Walmart. The one on the bottom is maybe Meijer, or I might have those completely mixed up. But anyways, the top is for a 12-ounce box of cereal, and the bottom is for a 15-ounce box of cereal. So how do you know which one to buy? Do you buy the bigger one because you're thinking, oh, I get more for my money? Or do you buy the smaller one because, oh, I'm not spending as much money? Well, you want to look at the unit price. The unit prices are the things that tell you per ounce. So if you compare them, the smaller box is a better deal. It's only 24.9 cents per ounce instead of 26.3 cents per ounce. So those are called unit prices. And if you want to get the most for your money, that's where you look. So you compare the unit prices of products so that you can decide which size to buy. That's comparison shopping. Comparing them to find the best buy, that's the cheapest one. If price is the only factor to consider, then the package with the lowest unit price is the best buy. However, if the largest size product is the best buy, make sure you can use it all before it spoils. So for instance, buying 6 apples versus buying a bag of 10 apples. The bag of 10 apples might be cheaper, but are you going to eat it all before they go bad and then you're just throwing money away? So always think about that. To calculate and then round to 3 decimals. You might be thinking, why 3, Yanka? Well, notice up here, this 24.9 cents versus 0.263 cents. Notice that they're 3 decimals. They're just 2 different ways of showing it. 3 decimals when you comparison shop. I'll show you an example when we do it of why. To calculate that unit price that you're going to round to 3 decimals, all you're going to do is take the price of the item, that's the dollars, and divide by the measure or how many there are. So the dollars divided by how many there were. And your unit price should always be expressed as some number per some product. So for example, $4.50 per pound, and the per in math is with this slash, or $1.25 per granola bar. Either way is a proper way to express a unit price, but it always has a unit. That's why it's called a unit price. Otherwise, it's just a price. All right, so here's example number 1. A case of 24 cans of Mountain Dew costs $11.99. A 12-pack costs $7.49. Find the cost for 1 can of soda in each package. So this is something that I do all the time when I go to the grocery store. You think, oh, should I buy the bigger box because it's $11.99, but $7.49 is so much cheaper. So what you should do is you should compare. So in the first one is $11.99, and you get 24 cans. So that comes out 3 decimals to 0.500 per can. If I do the second price is $7.49, I divide it by 12, and I get 0.624 per can. So notice the smaller quantity and the smaller amount of dollars is actually more expensive can for can. So the cost per can is always going to be different depending on how much the package costs and how many you get. All right, example number 2, Reggie is grocery shopping. Cereal sells as follows. There's a 15.4 ounce box for $5.29, a 19.5 ounce box for $5.99, and a 10.8 box for $3.99. If you've ever been in the cereal aisle, there are so many choices. Which size has the lowest unit price to the nearest tenth of a cent? tenth of a cent, kids, is 3 decimals. 3 decimals. All right, so to figure out which size has the lowest unit price, I need to calculate all 3 unit prices and then figure out which one is the lowest. So the first one is $5.29 for a 15.4 ounce. So if I divide, I get 0.344 per ounce. The second box costs $5.99 and it contains 19.5 ounces. So if I divide here, I get 0.307 per ounce. So notice that the unit price has gone down. The last one costs $3.99 and you get 10.8 ounces in the box. That comes out to 0.369 per ounce. So which box has the least unit price? Notice that it ends up this time being the biggest box again. So the 19.5 ounce box is the one that has the lowest unit price. All right, example number 3, which restaurant offers the best buy based on price alone? So we have hamburgers at McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King. We have the total cost of the burger. We have how many ounces are in the burger. And then we're going to calculate the unit rate so we can figure out the better buy. So let's see, McDonald's is $1.29 for 4.3 ounces. So we're going to do $1.29 divided by 4.3. When I do that, I get 0.300 per ounce. Then I'm going to do Wendy's, $2.99 divided by 6.5 ounces. That's going to give me 0.460 per ounce. Oh, so the bigger burger was not a better buy. And then finally Burger King. Burger King is $1.05 and I get 4.2 ounces. So that's going to give me 0.250 per ounce. So it looks like the cheapest unit price, the better buy, is at Burger King. Then McDonald's, and then Wendy's had the most expensive. So they were definitely not the better buy. All right, example number 4. A pet store is having a sale and selling 2 mice for $4.84. If they ended up selling 18 mice that day, how much money did they earn selling the mice? All right, well, I guess if we figure out how much each mouse is, its unit price, then we can use that to figure out if we sold 18. So we got 2 for $4.84, and we have to figure out how much is 18. All right, so if I take $4.84 and divide by the 2 mice that you get, that tells me that each mouse is $2.42. So if I then sold 18 of the mice and each one cost $2.42, then we made $43.56 selling those mice. Obviously, you're going to have tax and all sorts of other stuff too, but just basic. All right, example number 5. At a restaurant, the lunch deals for the day were either 3 hot dogs for $12.75 or 2 chili dogs for $10. Which food has the lower unit price? All right, well, let's do hot dogs. Hot dogs are $12.75, and you get 3 of them. So $12.75 divided by 3, that's $4.25 per hot dog. Chili dogs are $10 and you get 2 of them, so that's $5 per chili dog. So which food has the lower unit price? Lower unit price is hot dogs. Hot dogs are only $4.25. Chili dogs were $5. Which makes sense because chili dogs are going to have more stuff on them, so they're going to be more per. All right, example number 6. Walmart sells a package of 4 twin bed sheets for $31.95. Target sells a similar quality sheet in a package of 6 for $49.99. Which store sells the sheets for less per sheet? All right, so if you were just going on price alone and not a store snob, you would first, in part A, which store sells the sheets for less per sheet? So let's do Walmart first, $31.95, and in there you get 4 sheets. So that is, remember 3 decimals, 7.988 per sheet. And then at Target it was $49.99 and you got 6 sheets. So at Target the price was $8.332 per sheet. So the question is, which store sells sheets for less? That would be the first one, and the first one was Walmart. So we're going to put Walmart. How much less per sheet? To the nearest tenth of a cent. Remember, that's 3 decimals. So how much less? We're going to take the bigger number, 8.332, and subtract the smaller number, 7.988, and that's going to give me 0.344 per sheet. Notice every time I'm doing a unit price, kids, I'm putting a slash with the word. Or you could put the word per with the word or the unit. All right, that is the end of section 5.4. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And as always, keep calm and keep trucking.